So here we have this week's sneaker releases, and the first one up is the New Balance 740. And these are two sneakers that are releasing. One's kind of a yellowy Volt lime type colorway, and then the other one's like a black and white colorway. I think the Volt lime one's coming out first, and maybe the black one will follow maybe a couple of days later. But both cool looking, and I'm not really, like I've been saying this before, but not too much of a 740 fan. But these particular colorways look quite nice actually on this particular model. I think the more pictures I've seen of the concepts one, that's kind of started to grow on me a little bit, but not enough to go out and buy a pair. And also on the 17th of December, the Fragment Nike Air Zoom Spiridon pack. This one has got sort of lukewarm reception, but in all honesty, I actually prefer the white version compared to the OG Sport Red version. Just because it just looks a bit simpler and a bit cleaner. I wouldn't mind a mini swoosh on the front, but apart from that, I would be up for a pair of the white version of these, not the black version. And also on the 7th of December, I've got the Nike Air Max Plus Tiempo. This one I've seen a bunch of times before in different colorways, and this is the black version, which I think will probably be more popular. And again, going on that sort of soccer trend vibe, slash between a Tiempo soccer cleat boot and the Air Max Plus, but I think a lot of people will probably be more gravitating towards this one, just like I said, because it's black. And also on the 17th of December, I've got the Nicole Hause Nike SB Dunk Low. This one I feel like is okay. It's not anything special in my eyes. Obviously it's got the kind of keychain on the side of the ankle collar, but apart from that, it's very much sort of a simple sort of plain Nike SB that we've seen a bunch of times before. And then this is I think a Rick Owens collab, is the Converse Dark Shadow Turbo Weapon. It's a take on the Weapon sneaker from Converse, and being sort of brought up to date. I'm just not a fan of these types of trainers. They're just a bit too loud and a bit too sort of bulky, and not really a fan of boots nowadays anyway. But I think they're supposed to be quite sort of limited in numbers as well. And also on the 18th of December is the Makeway, what they're terming the Nike Party 6000. So usually this is called the Pegasus 6000, and it's coming in this apricot colorway. I do like the colorway. I think it's mainly women's sizing of this particular pair, but I think what they've done on it is really nice. But however, for me, I like the look of them, but I probably wouldn't grab them. And also on the 18th of December, I've got the Air Jordan 12 Blueberry. I've seen a bunch of reviews for this, but I think Wear Testers was pretty damning in his review, just because of the quality and the shape of them. I think because they're made in Vietnam versus in China, and so the overall quality of the build isn't very good. So for those who are sort of checking for these, probably not worthwhile by the looks of it. And also on the 18th of December, I've got the Converse All-Star High Yukioku print. And this is just another one of those standard Converse chucks, if you're sort of a fan of these types of sneakers. But me personally, I don't like it that much, but the reason why I sort of wanted to highlight it is I do like the graphic print that's on it. And another one for the 18th of December, they've got the Jound Classic New Balance 2002 Gore-Tex. These are trainers that, obviously good for the winter time, and they've got more sort of a reinforced material on there, so to protect you from the rain, and they look a bit more sort of bulkier on foot as well, so just be wary of that. But overall, I still think these will be popular because it's a black sneaker, and especially sort of here in Europe, and in the sort of wet season, they tend to sort of be very popular. And also on the 18th of December, I've got the Adidas Z Sponge, and this is supposed to be another technology, more for sort of lifestyle wear, using, I guess, a sponge type foam. And I'll be interested to see what these are like. They look very average, to say the least. That almost sort of similar to an updated, I suppose, SL72, because it looks like sort of nylon material on the upper. But the sponge technology, it'll be interesting to see what they're like. Adidas seem to have so many different foam technologies that it's just, for me, just a bit confusing, really. And also on the 19th of December, we've got the New Balance 997 Moonwood Driftwood. I think this one is a nice colourway, but I'm not a fan of these really sort of older New Balance models, because I just don't feel that they're comfortable on foot. They're just very sort of firm and maybe on the heavy side. But I know there's like kind of New Balance aficionados out there that love this kind of stuff, but it's okay for me. And also on the 19th of December, I've got the Atmos Asics GT2160 taped them, and this is supposed to have like a glow in the dark elements, similar to when you get a picture of a cat and their eyes are reflective. That's what it's supposed to represent, or mammals with their sort of reflective eyes in the dark. So it's an okay pair. It's not anything too special. The GT2160 is quite sort of neutral on foot, but overall just not a fan of these types of trainers. And also on the 19th of December, I've got the Nigo Nike Air Force 3 Low Light British Tan. I think this particular pair is not loaded up on the sneakers up here in Europe, and I feel like it will be exclusive to some boutiques, and maybe for me it's like one of those ones where not a fan of the furry hair on this, and the pair has been I think inspired by Planet of the Apes. So this one, I think out of the 4 colorways, is probably one of the nicer ones because it's just more neutral. And that leads me on to the next pair as well, which has been loaded up on the sneakers up, is the Nike Air Force 3 Low Brown pair. And this one, I think, again, just not too much of a fan of this particular colorway, just a bit dark and a bit kind of, that furry print is a bit too much for me. I think, I don't know, on this one it's not, it's a bit too pronounced versus the other pair, the light British tan pair. But I think looking at all 4 that have been released now, or will be releasing, I think the original white and multicolored pair is a nice one. I'm hoping Nike release some GR versions of the Air Force 3, hopefully next year. And I'll definitely be, grabbing a GR version. I'm not so sure about these Nigo ones. If I can get one for retail, then I'll probably, look to kind of see what they're like. Because I did have a pair when I was younger, but I had the high top version. And also on the 19th of December, I've got the Nike Book 1 Nightmare Before Christmas. This one I'm not so much a fan of because of the fact that it's just got loads of cracked leather all over it, and I'm just not a fan of cracked leather. But it's a nod to Nightmare Before Christmas. So it's a very sort of simple shoe, maybe a bit too simple for some people, especially being a basketball shoe. And also on the 20th of December, I've got the Atmos Puma Suede Vintage, and this is a Scourgeon 3.0. I think the details on this look really nice, and with the kind of embroidery on the side, I think the embroidery looks really nice on any trainer, and just having the extra bit of detail and intricacy just looks really nice. But it's a cool pair at the end of the day. Something which isn't a cool pair is the Adidas Dress Superstar Clock Black. It's coming out on the 20th of December. This isn't something for me anyway, and not for my not for my taste anyway, and probably someone who is more sort of fashion conscious, I guess. But I do like the effort that Clog have put into releasing these types of pieces of footwear, which is more different and I guess unique. And I think it takes a lot to kind of try and get the Superstar to be looking more of a shoe, which I think they've achieved what they set out to achieve, but not something that I would be interested in. And also on the 20th of December, I've got the Nike ACG, I think it's pronounced Izzy or Izzy. And this one is one of those pieces of footwear that is similar to the Rufus because it's got the same midsole, outsole, and maybe even the same sort of upper as well. But that one is more of a sort of clog, slip-on type affair, whilst this one's more of a full like shoe kind of experience, and still a slip-on. But I think the only problem that I have with these is they're quite sort of heavy bottom. The midsole outsole combination feels quite heavy on foot, but still comfortable though, and still nice, and especially good for the winter time. And also on the 20th of December, I've got the Isamaya French Nike Air Max DN beige, and this colorway, it kind of reminds me of I suppose the Isamaya stuff really, and it's okay, it's doing the job, but it's not like again something that I'm kind of itching to grab. And also we have the Nike Zoom Spiridon returning, which is the OG Sport Red, which I think came out in 96, 97, I believe, and probably was the first model to feature Zoom technology in a running shoe. So this one, again, just a nice sneaker. Not sure if I'll be grabbing them straight away. I might wait for them to go on sale before I grab a pair. But they do look cool. And, if I miss out on a Fragment one, then I'll definitely be trying to grab these when they go on sale. And also we've got the Travis Scott Air Jordan 1 Low OG Velvet Brown. And this is, nothing to sort of write home about. It's a fine sneaker. I think obviously if I can pick them up for retail, and I think some of the raffles have gone live. So, for retail, definitely, but anything else, not really.